Welcome back, everyone. Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. I'm really excited that we're gonna do some disco. You know, I know a lot of people don't like disco or dislike disco for whatever the reason it may be, you know, because disco kind of like took over some musical genres, and I don't know. So I'm just happy because I didn't live through that period and time. So when I listen to disco music, I just find it a lot of fun. And it's just, I don't know, it's very, I mean, you have to give it to disco. It's good music. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so popular. And yes, obviously, it's music that's not as adventurous as progressive rock or just rock or 70s, you know, rock. But I don't know. There's something about it that I like. So we're going to do some disco today. This is sponsored by JK. Thank you so much for sponsoring the marathon and for coming up with the idea. So there is a couple of, there's little notes here. It says, "Hi, Nick. I know disco is a dirty word to many people, but listen to how it affected all these major rock bands with excellent results. A fascinating transition in musical history, all in the late 70s. So, yes, and obviously my parents were part of that. I guess, as you know, my dad had a very successful nightclub in Munich, and pretty much, yeah, disco was, you know, being played there, you know, and it was a discotheque, you know, and he had most of these people on this list, I'm sure, were either, if they were on tour and in Munich, then they were at the East Side. So he just knew a lot of people, and that's what I've heard all throughout my life, you know, like, oh yeah, when I would come up and I'm like, oh, I like this band. Oh yeah, I know them. But he would never brag about it, which is super cool because I don't like that either, you know. I don't like to brag about things, but I like to do mention it, you know, because I think it's cool. But yeah, so we're going to start it off with the Rolling Stones. That's, for example, a band that he knew very well because he used to just be friends, you know, pick him up, have him over, and just, you know, get stoned and good times, you know. And that's all I know, various occasions. But this is Miss You by the Rolling Stones from the album Some Girl, 1978. Then Heart of Glass by Blondie from the album Parallel Lines, 1978. Broken English by Marianne Faithfull from the album Broken English, 1979. Young Americans by David Bowie from the album Young Americans, 1975. And of course we end with, and this is another band that he was pretty much, he played in Munich the first time that the movie Saturday Night Live was being played in the city of Munich was at his discotheque, and it was Staying Alive, and it was a big deal because everybody was just like going crazy about this. Staying Alive by Bee Gees from the motion picture Saturday Night Live Fever, 1977. Now it says here, Nick, if you know this song too well to react to it, use Night Fever. So I'm gonna do both because I think it's a big deal, because Staying Alive is such an epic track, and of course I've heard it, not really, like, I've never really paid attention to the lyrics and all the stuff, but I've heard it so many times just in pop culture that yes, I think I know it pretty well. So I'm gonna do both because they're both so you know, important to the disco era, you know. So usually I don't do 6 songs, but this time I will, and because I think if I take out Staying Alive, then it's gonna hurt the marathon, and if I don't play the other song, Fever, is it called Fever? Night Fever, then I don't know. It's just like, it's either or, you know. So I'm just going to do both. Okay. All right. So let's get it started with the Rolling Stones. Now, I didn't know that they also did. Oh, I think I have to on. Here we go. So I didn't know that the Stones even like dabbled into disco. But hey, you know, as you can see, you know, even the Rolling Stones tried it out. So here we go with the I Miss You. And I hope you enjoy. Please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you like the video, give it a like, thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Whatever makes you happy, leave a comment. Were you going through the disco era? What did you think of it? Did you hate it? Were you dancing, all night? Let's see. Like, I would love to know. All right, give me 1 second here real quick. I want to see something about the audio. So it seems perfect. And here we go with Miss You by the Stones. Let's go. All right. Yeah, I think I've heard this, but just the lick. That bass. Boom, 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 boom.
I've been holding out so long. I've been sleeping all alone. Lord, I miss you. I've been hanging on the phone. I've been sleeping all alone. I won't kiss you.
So good. Okay, so I love that change. So what does music make I can't even speak. So why is the music disco infused? Like, what is the cause of the disco sound? I think it's that that bass line. I don't know. Maybe it's the 4/4 tempo that never really changes. But I mean, other bands do that as well. Like the first time, and I got a lot of flack for that, when I heard Peg by the amazing Steely Dan, I was like, Peg, right? And I was like, wow, it sounds a little bit like disco. Ooh, I got so much, so much flack for that. Because obviously the Steely Dan fans are like, what is he talking about? This is jazz fusion at its finest. And I'd never heard any Steely Dan in my life before. And I heard Peg. So obviously it was a little bit more, it sounded commercial. And I was like, how could I even say that it sounds commercial? Well, and in that moment I said those words, disco. And now when I listen to Peck, obviously it has this amazing solo that's very jazz fusion, and there's all these weird things about the solo, this Hawaiian feel, and then there's like this diminished, amazing scale and all these little arpeggios and stuff. So yeah, but what does it make this, for example, disco? That's the question. Let me know what you think makes a disco. Is it the time signature? Is it the drums? Is it the bass? I think the bass has to do a lot with the disco feel. That I don't know what it is, but I think if this was considered disco, I mean, it's the Stones, and it still sounds like the Stones, and they sound very epic. And now that I know more about them, I appreciate them more. Honestly, I didn't like them at all. And I still know people that don't like the Stones at all. Now I can appreciate them for what they are. They have a very unique style. It's very unique. It's very them. Like, they pretty much sound very original. That there's no other band like them. But yeah, let me know what you think made it sound disco. So let's continue. I love that there was a change and then even another change now. Let's see. Let's go back to it.
Come on! Come on!
It's the third change.
I've been walking Central
Is it that? Is it that?
Singing after dark. People think I'm crazy. Stuffing on my
Got the perfect shirt on for disco too. 1977.
What's the matter with you, boy? Sometimes I want to say to myself. Sometimes I say.
Some more jazzy disco.
I guess I'm lying to myself. It's just you and no one else. Now all I want is you, child. You just been running out my mind, fooling out my mind. All I want is you, baby, yeah. Lord, I miss you, child.
It's the bass. It is the bass. Very good. Okay, it's one of those that just like they stop. This was, I think it was just the bass that gave it that disco vibe. Let me know if you were in Munich in the 70s. I think it was 70s throughout the end of the 80s, and you ever were at the what was it, Rosenheimer Platz in Munich, and then you were definitely going to the east side. And it was back then the part of the city was called what was it called? It was just not, it was not the like the best part of town, you know. And now actually it really like transformed itself. There's a lot of, it's very much one of the most expensive part in Munich to like buy houses or apartments or live. I can't think of it. So we were just there, Alexia and I, and now the east side, as it was called, is in Aldi, and it was super sad to see. Rosenheimer Platz. Okay, and it's in the it's by the Deutsche Museum. It's like we walked there, we did all that. But I want to see just the part of town, because back in the day when my dad actually opened up this disco, it was like, yeah, don't be walking around there at night, you know. Passing, no. Maybe here. Heidhausen. So Heidhausen, before, yeah, was just like, there were all, it was full of broken glass, and it was just dirty, and now it's just like, it's like the best part to live in Munich, which is kind of weird. And I'm sure it had to do with the fact that a lot of people would just go there into this, like Led Zeppelin and the Stones, and and just stories that I know, comedians like from Europe and from the States, and he met so many people, because I was obsessed, like, for example, with Jack Nicholson. I used to watch The Shining and As Good as It Gets, and my dad was, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I smoked a joint one night, and what else? Oh, that's it. That's all we did. We talked a little. And the cool thing about my dad is it was for him very normal. He was never like starstruck, so it was always just like, yeah, well, I met this person, and oh, I got a lighter from this person, and, he was just like, I guess he had also, before he opened up this discotheque, he'd already traveled, and he had seen a lot, so he was not really like too impressed by anything. He just kept his cool. And also that was also very much the reason people liked him, because nobody likes to be all like, when you're starstruck. I think the artists or the stars, because now you can't even say that they're stars anymore, because we know them already. We know what they do, what they eat through social media. There's no mystique. So, but back in the day, a star like, I don't know, like John Travolta, you didn't know what he did personally. But I think it was really nice for him to be, if people were just cool around him, like, I'm just another person, yes, I'm in movies and I dance and I do all this stuff, but in the end, I'm just everybody, like anybody else. And I think people who kind of got that and were cool, I think those were very much more enjoyable, instead of these people like losing their minds. So yeah, so let me know if you ever were in Heidhausen or in the East Side in Munich in the 70s. There's a lot of stories. There's one person who actually wrote the door guy. He knew the name of the door guy, which is Greco. He was a huge guy, and he would not let like a lot of people in just because of the shoes, stuff like that. Just crazy rules, that I don't know. I don't think they were made up by my dad, but I guess it was just a thing that you had to look nice, So if you would get there all scruffy looking, I think then that you would you can't come in, stuff like that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you ever were around in the disco era in Munich. Okay, next song is Blondie. Heart of Glass. Let's check it out. Now I'm gonna focus on the bass, because this one, I think the bass made it more disco. The Miss You. All right. The bass. I never knew this was by Blondie. Of course, I've heard this before in movies, I don't know, like Train Spotting, whatever. Any, good like hippie movie. Wir Kinder vom Bahnhof Zoo is another one where David Bowie appears. It's a German movie about drug addiction and stuff like that. So I've heard this before, but not really like this, with headphones and everything. But and then yeah, of course, Donna Summer, also Giorgio Moroder. He used to live in Munich, and they were kind of like this hanging out all the time because he's also credited as a disco pioneer. So that was kind of cool to hang out with, I'm sure. Okay.
What I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine. Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I fear I'm losing you, it's just no good. You tease me like you never.
And flanger.
Once I loved, and it was a gas. Soon turned out, had a heart of glass. Seemed like the real thing, only to find. Mucho mistrust, love's gone behind.
Mucho mistrust.
Lost inside, unbearable illusion, and I cannot hide. I'm the one you use, and please don't push me aside. We could have made it cruising, yeah.
It's the bass. That's what it is.
Yeah, riding high on long through bluish light. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Once I love and it was a gas. Soon turned out to be a pain in the ass. Seemed like the real thing, only to find. Much in its past, love's gone behind. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh.
Wow, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, Blondie usually is more like rock, and this is, I never knew this was Blondie, but look, this is very interesting when I looked up. So its sound is typified by 4 on the floor beats, like 4 4 4, and then syncopated bass lines that that's literally what I was like, okay, maybe that's it. And then string sections, brass and horns, electric pianos, synthesizers, and electric rhythm guitar. So yeah, and there's also a explanation here that usually the drum beat was 16th notes on the hi-hat, so and then the snare on the 2 and the 4 beat. Now, I'm not a drummer, but I guess that's it. You know, there has to be a certain formula so it sounds like, you know, the disco beat. And since this is like on a loop, pretty much maybe that's what a lot of people didn't like, or were just like, what is this like disco BS, you know, that's going on. And it must have been shocking after the 60s and 70s give you this amazing music, and then suddenly it gets so simplified. But I mean, if you listen to this and you compare it to now, the music that now is popular and being played in clubs, this is literally 200 times better. It's just like it is, because there's actually music, there's choruses, there's melody, harmony. This does not exist in today's music. It's just auto-tune, and it's just I don't know, they're just like singing whatever, like not even lyrics anymore. It's just like we literally in the Middle Ages, or in the Dark Ages. But when it comes to music that's popular, you know, that's what's so sad, because there's great music being recorded right now as we speak. Great jazz fusion, great rock, great metal, great everything, but it's just not being pushed into the masses because it's not popular. What's being pushed into the masses is this horrible. I just saw. I think I could only sit through one song. It's called Peso Pluma, and he's from Mexico, and I was excited for a Mexican artist, you know, and it was just horrible. It was horrible music, and it's like I can't believe they gave him a special on Amazon, and it's like I couldn't even sit through the second song. It was just like I'm done. So Broken English by Marianne Faithfull. Let's go. So don't say it in Russian, don't say it in German, say it in broken English. So like the Cold War.
Reality. It's
So this reminds me very much of the movie The Lives of Others. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like that, you know, during the Cold War, which was forever, I think, you know, from the 60s to the mid 80s or even longer. It says here in 1984, East Berlin, an agent of the secret police conducting surveillance on a writer and his lover finds himself becoming increasingly absorbed by their lives. And this is what basically what she's saying, like, don't say it in Russian, don't say it in German, say it in broken English so they don't understand, pretty much, because everything and everyone was being surveillance. It was such a weird time, and I'm sure it's still going on, just through this, you know, just by having this, you know, there's really nothing we can do about it, you know. So yeah, that's what I think. I could be wrong, I could be right. I can't do anything about it, you know. But yeah, surveillance is just crazy these days. I mean, if you leave your house, there's like 100 cameras, you know, that you get, like, literally, and you don't even notice, you know, where cameras are, when you walk down the street, and there's hundreds of people just, you know, looking at us all day. So yeah, that's like the world we live in. And it was crazy because I remember in 2002 I watched a movie by Steven Spielberg called Minority Reports, and that movie takes place in 2050, and pretty much Steven Spielberg said, yes, like, we wanted to see what the future was like, so we got together with the minds, the best minds of, so how's the future going to be like? And then basically, you know, in the future, privacy is not going to be a thing. There is no privacy. And maybe it's through our phones, through our webcams, I don't know, through our TVs. There's been stuff found in the most weird places that you can imagine. That is some sort of surveillance. So I guess that's all I'm going to talk about it. We could talk about that for hours, I guess, but I don't want to get into it. Let's stay on the disco trail. So this is David Bowie, and I love David Bowie. I don't know. I've never heard of Marianne Faithfull. Very cool. David Bowie, Young Americans. Here we go. Maybe this is the one featured in Wir Kinder von Bahnhof Zoo. I don't know. Let's check it out. No, I've never heard it.
They pulled in just behind the bridge. He lays her down. He frowns. Gee, my life's a funny thing. Am I still too young? He kissed her then and there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows he'd have taken anything. All night. She wants a young American. The young American standing right through the picture window. She finds a slinky vagabond. He coughs as he passes the Ford Mustang. But heaven forbid she take anything but the freak and his title for nothing. This is a step and cuts his hand, but showing nothing. It swoops like a song. She cries, where have all Papa's heroes gone? All night. She wants a young American. Young American, young American. She wants the young American. All right. Well, she wants the young American. All the way from Washington. Her breadwinner begs off the bathroom floor. We live for just these 20 years. Do we have to die for the 50 more? All right. He wants the young American.
love David Bowie so much, and I love all the transitions that he went through, because the earliest David Bowie, he has like a wonderful voice. He's always had a great voice, but then came this. You can hear like how he's getting deeper, and he's starting to sing deeper, and then he got to a point where it was just deep, and like, for example, Let's Dance, that Let's Dance. That David Bowie is, I think, what I like the best, but it is a transition. It's almost like his vocal cords. I don't know, it was through smoking. He has a cigarette on the cover, which is funny because Marianne Faithfull on Broken English also is holding a cigarette. I guess back in the day, smoking was just so normal. And I love, even in movies, I just saw this movie called Maestro. Please check it out, with Bradley Cooper, about Lenny Bernstein. And he's literally smoking in every scene of the movie. Every scene. There's not one scene where he's not holding a cigarette. Which is just insane. Like, people used to smoke so much. And I don't know if it has to do with that, his voice, or if he just like... It even happened to that actor who played Elvis. If you see footage from him, like before the movie, he talks pretty normal, and now he speaks like, it's like, it's almost like he got into character so much that his vocal cords, I don't know if that is possible, but I saw a video on it, then it could have happened. But I love David Bowie. I love how he sounds here, and I love how he sounds on everything.
The young American.
My God.
Do you remember your President Nixon? Do you remember the bills you have to pay, or even yesterday?
Sorry about that.
Have you been on America? Just you and your idol simple set so loud. Leather everywhere, and not a miss left from the ghetto. Well, would you carry your visa? Just in case of depression. Sit on your hands on the bus of survivors, blushing at all the Afro-Sheeners. Ain't that close to love? Well, ain't that close to love? Well, it ain't that Barbie doll. Her heart's been broken just like you and all night. What the young American, young American, all right. You want the young American. You ain't no pimp, you ain't no horse. It's got a carry and a lady got a Chrysler. Rick's got the stacker, White's got a soul train. Mama's got cramps and look at your handshake.
I heard the news today, oh boy.
I got a sweet and you got the feel. You're the real man who can say no more. And the real woman I can suck on the jaw. And the retired I can help with that judging. And the rebellion that will right before they die. Ain't you proud that you struck our faces? Ain't there one dance song that can make me break down and cry? Oh, I want the young American. The young American. Oh, I want the young American. Young American. I want with you, boy. I want with you, boy. You want what I want you. You want I want you, one. I want you.
Very cool. I love it. And that little Beatles, insert. I read the news today, oh boy. I love it. Very cool. Very, very cool song. Not as disco as I thought. You know, I think there's other tunes by Bowie that are more disco. Well, I'm not a. I'm not. I'm sure that JK knows way more about music and Bowie than I do. So now the we're gonna start it off with one of the Bee Gees, Night Fever, and this is from the. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he wanted me to do Saturday Night Live motion picture soundtrack. Okay. I got something else. Is How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Okay, I guess it's the same in the end, but I just want to do the versions that JK told me to do, because they could be longer or something. Night Fever from Saturday Night Live soundtrack. Okay, and Staying Alive. Let's add them here. So let's see. Were they any different? No, the same. Same length and everything. So it's just... All right, cool. So here we go with Night Fever. Okay. No. No way. Let's go again. Ooh, yeah. I love the strings. That voice. It still works. So good. That bridge. What a legend. So good. Love it, man. I mean, I don't know what it is. Something about it. It's just that wah, that pedal, you know, that wah pedal with the guitar, the beats, and the falsetto, you know, by Barry Gibb, and the other voices by the Gibb brothers. It's just, it works. It's still sounds amazing. I mean, it's like, it sounds better than anything I've heard, like, that comes out of the radio that's new, like, literally. And this is from 1977. So imagine that, you know, from like the cast from Star Wars, you know, like they're like after 8 hours of working on the first movie, and it's so funny because the first movie has such an amazing score by John Williams. It's so serious, you know, and then they go out, maybe like, I don't know if they had like still energy to go out, but if they ever did, you know, that's the music they were listening to. Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, you know, George Lucas. That was what was in the world, you know, popular. That's crazy. That's blows my mind. But that's, you know, the music. And it's really, I'm really like happy that he told me that story. I wouldn't know. Like, and there's so much that he didn't tell me because my dad was a very quiet person. I guess in his own head. Not that he was depressed or anything. He was like, I think there was too much of an age gap between me and him. So I was just a baby, you know, for him. Like, he wasn't really, I don't know, like always, you know. And then when I got older and when I was a teenager, he was already so old, you know. So we never really got, you know, into like, there was no big communication. It's too much, you know, of an age gap. And so, but yeah, sometimes he would tell me about a couple of things, and that was one of them. That he's like, oh yeah, I was really lucky because I got to show, you know, I got the first screening in Munich of Saturday Night Live in my, you know, in my nightclub. And I was like, okay, you know, I didn't know it was a big deal, you know. And now when I think of it, it's like, wow, I should have maybe reacted, but how could I? I didn't know who the Bee Gees were. I didn't know what Saturday Night Live was, or John Travolta. You know, I knew him through Pulp Fiction. That was basically when he came back to acting. So yeah, no. So now let's play I guess the most famous one of the bunch, which is and this is I wanted to add, you know, he didn't tell me to do both, but I want to do both. And I love the support JK gives the channel, and I think this has to be in the marathon. This is an essential disco track. So, but I'm gonna put on the lyrics this time. I've never paid attention to the lyrics. I want to know. So here we go. Okay. I wish it was louder. I've never done that. Let's see, you're breaking everybody. Shake it. Woo, man. It's me. Okay, minute 150. I'm gonna try and use a different file because this is so low. Let me just use Staying Alive on How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. Maybe it's louder because the one Night Fever, I didn't choose the Saturday Night Live soundtrack. I think it's, let me just, oh wait, I'm playing the same. You see how much louder it is? Let's go. Okay. Okay, let's use this. Like, so apparently the Saturday Night Live Fever original soundtrack is very low, the volume. Like, so let's go to 150. 145. There we go. So much better sound. It has the same rhythm as Billie Jean, that like totally. Those chords, no, they are arpeggios. Wow. What a track, man. It's almost like, I can't believe like it has aged really, really well. And so, yeah, apparently the Saturday Night Live Fever soundtrack has not been remastered. I don't know. Maybe it's just lower the volume, but I used How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, and that is way louder. So again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. This was wonderful, and was also really nice to talk about a little bit about my, family, my dad, and just Germany and Munich in general. It's still my favorite city. We just went last year, and it was just amazing that I remembered everything. I remembered literally street names that I hadn't seen. Oh my God, like forever. And I've still like, I was just a kid living there, like 12, 13 years old, and I still remembered how to do everything, And Alexa was just looking at me like, how can you remember this stuff, And I don't know, I'm just a city kid, and because then from going from Munich to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, being like a beach kid, like there's nothing. There was like one stoplight. It's just insane, the culture shock that I went through. But I started to love it, after a while. But yeah, going back to Munich was just amazing. Meeting my friends from literally from first grade was just amazing. Like it was the best thing ever. And thankfully I've kept in touch, and never lost the language. And it was just wonderful. So again, thank you so much, for all your support, for all your love for the channel, and your comments, your subscriptions, and all that stuff. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one.